Hello, everyone. This is Fahim Jackson, and this is episode 31 of In the Know, a daily short form podcast show which is aimed at putting people in the know. A show where I cover a variety of my topics using my experiences and viewpoints in life to put people in that know. What is the know? It's the understanding that seems to be hard for people to grasp, which can make their lives a lot simpler. The following is an intro speech into the topic of today. And that introduction speech is regarding getting involved in class without fear of sounding uninformed. As a child, growing up in school, I would always raise my hand and ask questions in class. But for some reason, it never dawned on me that I could be wrong in front of the entire class. And there were days when I was wrong. Then something would happen when I was wrong. The teacher would write out on the chalkboard and whiteboard the right answers, and students would be rigorously writing in class. It made me realize that I wasn't the only one who was wrong, but I could never understand why it was so hard for students to just say they are wrong. Then I became an adult and realized it wasn't just students, but also an adult thing as well. Adults themselves have a hard time sounding what we call as dumb to get the smart answer. Well, why? Be unafraid to sound dumb to be smart. Why? A main reason you should be unafraid is that you will never get anywhere in life if you're not allowing yourself the ability to be wrong. And the reason why I say sounding dumb in the title is that most people would say sometimes students have been known to ask dumb questions. And when you frame it like that, people become afraid. But saying the wrong answer makes students get involved more. Yet even when someone hears you say the wrong answer, they still clam up. But just say it and go with it. Here are the subjects that students have to volunteer for that may seem difficult. Let's look at mathematics. The number one class has to be mathematics, in my opinion. This is a course where we seem to rank students the most because it measures more of the abilities than most courses. And this is the course where you're going to be asked what your answer was the most. Now you have to answer in class. This means your classmates staring at you with potentially the wrong answer in your mind as you present it to the class. What if the answer you got in the class is so way off from everyone else? Which for me has happened. I've gotten answers far off from the entire class. Let's look at another subject, science. This must be a course just like the mathematics course, except you're asked to answer calculations and definitions. Oh, and let me throw in the mix experiments and being asked why it didn't work. This is where students like getting into class with other smart students. This way, you can hide from what you thought you knew. Because if they are smart, they will always want to take part in the experiment and volunteer. And if you're wrong, it reflects on the entire group. Social studies. This is actually a course where students may volunteer a lot more because the answers are hard. But you can guess more without feeling of being wrong, then the teacher can guide you in the right direction because there is more mental understanding, geographical, economic, and philosophical spent at the course. Now, depending on the age of student, for this I am assuming I am talking to older students, either late high school or collegiate. The philosophy and understanding of people is very much so skewed. So this is for the most part a sit and listen course, and to chime in here and there as the professor or teacher talks. History. When you're tackling this course, you have to be more spot on because you're dealing with so many documented facts. So guessing is not good enough, and this is a class where the teacher is going to ask you to read out loud in the class. This is a fear for so many, especially when I was a child, because I had a hard time remembering what I had read right after. And it was because I was reading, but not soaking it into my mind. So classes like these, I would sometimes fall back and then answer questions. So here's where I was afraid to be dumb. English. This is actually my hardest course in school, and that is because the reading and the writing aspects of the course, constructing sentences to make them make sense, where I'm able to articulate to the teacher and classroom my work. Geography. This was by far the easiest course I took in school. My mind works so much in images, or I'm able to remember the geographical aspects of what I saw. And that creates a strong sense of confidence in school to attack school coursework handed out by the teacher, professor. Internal strengths. There's something internal to a person that gives them the ability to not be afraid to sound like they don't know. And it is up to the parents to capitalize on their child's fearlessness. And my mother did so with her 3 children. We would step into school with this level of confidence that even when we were wrong, we got back up and fought on. So, with the end statement, why we all should not be afraid to ask the dumb question. When you're in school, you have to be willing to be a volunteer in the classroom. But if you're not one of those students who fades into the background because you're afraid to raise your hand, don't be afraid to sound like you don't know in order to get the right answer. And the reason being is that your future success depends on it. You have to express your fearlessness if you want to go far. So raise your hand, ask the dumb question. You might end up helping someone else in the class in the process. So, thank you for listening to In the Know. I can't wait to bring the next episode where we talk about how lowering standards for kids in school hurt the student inevitably.